An emergency alert system goes from a few thousand people signed up to 1 million plus. Somber quiet is replaced by the sound of machinery.
It's tough to show up with heavy equipment and scoop their lives out and put them in the dump truck.
A step toward rebuilding in Boulder County. There's been overwhelming new interest in saving lives through Narcan, yet Denver's still waiting on the drug to be sent here. Refugees go to class to learn pathways to success. And Colorado's love for pets is known around the country. It's why animals get sent here when they have nowhere else to go. We're not just going to watch. Let's help, because this is next. Denver just dumped 1 million new phone numbers into an emergency notification system, though that only provides partial protection until the people who live or work in the city finish the setup process. Here's Marshall Zellinger.
So this is what the map looks like. Each one of these dots is a different contact.
The next time Denver pushes out a reverse notification alert, all these dots will receive phone calls or texts.
We have 1.2 million.
1.2 million contacts automatically added to the city's opt-in database. And they're not just landlines. Denver 911 paid the reverse notification company Everbridge for access to its resident connection, a database of cell phone numbers.
It gives us at least a better chance of reaching the folks in a affected neighborhood or area than just simply relying on that opt-in portal.
451,000 of the numbers, more than a third, are residential cell phone numbers. My work cell phone, a 303 number, is not automatically in the database. And it's possible yours is not either. So where do the numbers come from in the first place? For that, I went to Everbridge product manager Francis Willett.
Could I be in this database and never had done anything except sign up for a cell phone service?
No, you have to have verified like a gas bill, utility bill, financial component, something that you actually are using this address and this phone number for those types of purposes.
Unlike the Marshall Fire, where reverse notifications went to landlines and to cell phones and emails that had been opted in, Denver's reverse notifications will go to landlines and cell phones that they automatically have on file. But you should still opt in, because your number may not be included, and you may want to add multiple addresses in the city where you want to be notified if something happens.
We don't have assurance that it's 100% accurate and complete, so therefore we need that opt-in portal to fill in the gaps.
Denver's new opt-in option went live in January, and let's just say no one really knows yet.
We have 4,821 opted in from just a handful before. 0.4% of our contacts, which we need more.
We're going to make a concerted push to really educate all the people of Denver on the various facets of emergency notifications and try and increase that number.
This is different than the wireless emergency alert system used during the NCAR fire over the weekend. That is based on cell phone towers finding your phone in a specific area. This is based on your address, where your cell phone bill goes. So if something were to happen, Kyle, let's say here at 9 News,
Yeah.
I might not get that on my cell phone because my cell phone address is not near 9 News. Same goes if something happens at my home, but I'm here and they're drawing that polygon around my home, I would get it even though I'm far away from my home.
So that's why they want people to sign up at the locations that they frequent along with their home address. And there's always going to be a concern whenever your cell phone number is out there. They're going to bug you. That there's going to be spam from outside providers or maybe from the city themselves sending you kind of useless stuff.
For Everbridge to have access to these cell phones, they had to go through FCC compliance, and the city cannot put out just keep calm in Denver on like we saw.
They sent that during the pandemic.
Right.
I didn't like that.
It can't be that. I don't know if it shuts it down. I was led to believe it shuts it down. You can't even send it out that way. Maybe keywords or something in there. But if you do it, you could face a violation and maybe lose access to that database.
So if the mayor wants to say, like, go Broncos, like, no, hands off.
Nope.
You can't do it. Not through this thing. Okay. Thank you, Marshall. Boulder County Sheriff's Office is still looking for somebody who may have seen how the NCAR fire started on Saturday. They're not coming right out and saying that it was human-caused, but a lot of the other causes would have been obvious by now. Fire is thankfully in the mop-up stage, 90% contained. When it started up and began to run on Saturday, you had thousands of people evacuated from its path. It burned almost 200 acres, but it's been stopped dead in its tracks since Sunday. Investigators would really like to talk to anybody who was on the trails south of NCAR in Boulder around 2 on Saturday afternoon. The usual disclaimer for tips applies. Investigators do not want us at home deciding if what we saw is important or not. They just want to hear about it, then they can decide for themselves. We had 9 News meteorologist Chris Bianchi actually look into whether there was any lightning in that area around NCAR the afternoon that could have started the fire. He says not only was there no lightning there wasn't a single lightning strike in the entire state on Saturday. Here's the map. Chris couldn't find any lightning west of the Mississippi River that afternoon. Neighborhoods that have been strangely silent for months are now filled with a lot of sound as private contractors have started to clear out debris from areas burned by the Marshall Fire. Our Katie Eastman talked with an owner of a company who changed his business model so that he might be useful to his neighbors.
In most scenarios, these sounds are not exactly pleasing to the ear. A construction worker's joy.
Yeah, no, it's looking good. We're doing good, guys.
It's not usually matched by others.
It's a brand new Caterpillar excavator. I mean, what man on the planet doesn't want one of those?
But Bob Blanke knows his machines are welcome here in Louisville's Coal Creek Ranch neighborhood.
For once, nobody's complaining about the noise we're making.
Bob's made noise around here before. His company, CR Contracting, remodeled kitchens and finished basements.
We've spent a lot of time working in this neighborhood.
They've never done work quite like this.
It's tough to show up with heavy equipment and scoop their lives out and put them in a dump truck.
When Bob's family evacuated their home in Superior, he watched the Marshall Fire burn his town. A few days later, he put all his money into hiring new people and buying the right equipment for debris removal.
I mean, we didn't come here from California to do this. I mean, we live here. This is our town. I mean, these are our people. We know it inside and out because we've been here forever.
The John Deere. Has it got a blade on it?
The excavation work holds reminders of everything that was lost. But Bob hears hope, too.
This is better than it was. I at least I can look at this and I can see the progress. I can see what could be and what will be as opposed to what was.
As a signal of lives moving forward, these sounds can soothe. For Next, I'm Katie Eastman.
Right now, only private contractors have started their debris removal. People who opted to have their property cleaned up through the joint Boulder County effort will be waiting a few more weeks for that to start. Denver's health department called it amazing today how many people have volunteered to carry Narcan, the drug that can reverse an opioid overdose. More than 4,400 requests for Narcan and fentanyl testing strips have come into the city since mid-February. Compare that to just a few hundred requests in the 6 months prior. But that Narcan hasn't arrived in Denver yet. The testing strip started shipping out last week, but the distributor has not sent the Narcan. Common name would be naloxone for the generic. The city says they're not entirely sure what the holdup is with the supplier. They're looking into other ways to get those orders filled. RTD held another one of those cleaning up Union Station press conferences today. Denver Mayor Michael Hancock was there for today's. Not a whole lot new that wasn't already outlined last week, with one caveat. City leaders say Denver police have now made more than 700 arrests at the Union Station Concourse Terminal this year. That includes drug arrests and what the city described as repeat violations of the restrictions that Union Station put in place at the beginning of March. Mayor Hancock has been saying lately that it is the sale and use of drugs and not homelessness that's at the core of Union Station's issues. Coloradans love pets so much, we love other states' pets. The animals that have done nothing wrong but to be put up for adoption in another state, where they still euthanize a significant number of adoptable pets. Now the lucky animals among them get transferred here to Colorado, and some go to a place that guarantees that they will find a home. Your Word of Thanks microgiving campaign this week supports Animal Friends Alliance, the nonprofit in northern Colorado dedicated to finding a home for every pet that comes into their shelter. They transform animals' lives so that they can then go on to transform people's lives, like Ronald here, and cats as well, like Scurvy Jack. Pets that come into Animal Friends Alliance in Fort Collins from all over Colorado, and ones that come in from out of state, because here they got a chance, a really good one. Animal Friends Alliance has been around for 15 years, and they're expanding right now with a special focus on how to keep animals out of the shelters to begin with, like through a low-cost vet clinic and a pet food pantry for low-income families. I think a lot of Colorado families treasure their pets as a member of the family. Someday my family's going to be ready to welcome a dog back into our lives. And I'm grateful for nonprofits like Animal Friends Alliance that give Colorado its national reputation as a place that cares for pets and saves animals' lives in the process. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1841 and I'll send you or 1491, pardon me, 871-1491. Only been doing this 2 years. You send that our way, we'll send you the link to donate. Even $5 helps, and I'll match the first 50 of you to give that. When the call comes that there are adoptable pets somewhere in America that just need a chance to live long enough to meet the right owner, we can help Animal Friends Alliance continue to say, bring them here. Accusations of voting irregularities between fellow Republicans are now headed to court. The Afghan refugee experience is paving the way for Ukrainians who will eventually come to Colorado.
Someone like me, I want to be someone. I want to be something in the future.
A college program that's ready to help. Next. For all of the chatter you hear about rigged elections and voting irregularities, it's actually an inside squabble among El Paso County Republicans that is now headed to court. They're fighting over the primary for House District 21 down in Fountain. It was a wild assembly process recently. Republican Carl Dent got 61% of the vote. He had been running for sheriff until they figured out that his prior felony means he can't become sheriff. Whoops, so he is on to running for the state house instead, and he made it through. Here's the incumbent, Republican State Rep Mary Bradfield. She did not make it through to the primary. She got 29.3% of the vote. She needed 30% to qualify. It came down to one vote. So now we're headed to court because the second in command for that House District's Republican committee says some of his fellow Republicans screwed up the voting process, allowing a delegate to vote when they shouldn't have and keeping two others from voting. Her lawsuit says the error was known before the assembly was held and that it should have been fixed. This lawsuit calls for Dent's candidacy to be vacated and for a vacancy committee to choose the Republican candidate or redo that assembly vote. Democratic Secretary of State Jenna Griswold, Colorado's chief elections officer, has been the subject of a plethora of lawsuits and also physical threats in recent years. And that's one reason why she's going to be getting private security paid for by taxpayers. The upcoming fiscal year budget package will allow the Secretary of State to use more than $32,000 from her office's cash fund to hire private security when state troopers are unavailable to protect her. That money is on top of the $120,000 that her office got in supplemental funding this year.
Partly cloudy, windy, and chilly today, and that wind made it feel a whole lot colder than our high of 48. But we've got, after kind of a cold night, a nice warming trend tomorrow that'll carry us into the weekend. There are a few snow showers out on the far northeastern plains, so temperatures like Sterling have stayed in the low 40s, low 30s in Sydney, mid 40s in downtown Denver. Greeley got to 50. Whole center of circulation pulling away, and we're tracking a line of severe storms tonight from Chicago, St. Louis down to Memphis. Tornadoes, large hail. We're dealing with a stray rain or snow shower early, then clearing skies. Little moisture coming into the western slope tomorrow, but the Front Range and eastern plains, how about sunshine and 61? 58 on Friday, almost 70 Saturday, with a chance for showers Sunday and Monday, and highs near 60 both days.
The refugees, when they're brought to the U.S., are given an opportunity to make a new life, but they also have a responsibility to really succeed.
And Coloradans are meeting them with an invitation to succeed.
It was a huge help, to be honest.
School of sorts for brand new Coloradans. Next. A refugee steps onto American soil with hope and with a promise that this is a place where safety and success are within reach. It was Afghans most recently, it'll be Ukrainians soon. A program at the University of Denver is ready for both. Our Byron Reed has the story.
So mostly what I do in my restaurant.
Mohammed Al-Nouri,
I'm from Syria originally, from Damascus.
knows how to create an opportunity
We are making hummus.
after leaving the country where he grew up.
When the war started in Syria, my parents they decide to leave the country because safety reasons. Smash it there, yeah.
Al-Nouri moved to the United States in 2017 and signed up for a program at the University of Denver called Ready for American Hospitality, a training program that pairs up refugees with hospitality students. The program teaches them culinary skills and the experience of working in the U.S. food industry.
Some really general work skills that we're able to translate through working in the hospitality industry, working in a kitchen, working in customer service.
Anthony Zerwiski is the program manager and says the course was created to help refugees with the resettlement process.
They are able to engage with increasing their cultural intelligence and their cultural awareness.
Is to really give people the tools and the skills so that they can succeed and they can become self-sufficient and contributing members to their new community.
Larry Bartlett is the director of the Refugee Resettlement Program for the U.S. Department of State. He's in town for a workshop with delegates from different countries, learning more about DU's program.
Denver is a real high-producing and very successful resettlement site. And so when we decided we were going to do this workshop and bring about 10 other countries to the U.S. to look at a place, Denver stood out.
It's a program that gives hope to refugees like Mohammed and his family.
In 2019, February, we started a restaurant here.
Along with a key ingredient for freedom in a new country they now call home.
Someone like me, I want to be someone. I want to be something in the future.
For Next,
it was a huge help to me. Yeah, the program over here.
I'm Byron Reed.
Ready for American Hospitality is part of DU's Hospitality Management School. It's a collaborative training program with the nonprofit African Community Center, which you generously supported through a Word of Thanks microgiving campaign last year. Hey, we're getting some feedback about the special Colorado Carbon Fund plates and what you have to pay to get them. So last night we got a good laugh out of the Hummer driver who paid for pro-environment Colorado Carbon Fund plates. To get that plate, you have to donate for an offset of at least half of your vehicle's calculated emissions. And we figure that Hummer driver really paid through the nose, probably about $200 to greenwash the Hummer with the Enviro plates. Next viewer reached out to ask, since they've got an electric car, could they just get the plate for free? No. Because electric cars do still produce tailpipe emissions, just at a much lower rate than a conventional vehicle. So we did the math on this. A Tesla driver who racks up the same mileage as we assume for the Hummer guy, instead of $200, they pay $35. We're showing our love for pets tonight by showing some love to a shelter that makes a promise to each animal that comes in the door. You will be adopted. That and your feedback next. Animal Friends Alliance tells us it never saw a surge in Coloradans surrendering their pets during the pandemic. It's no surprise given what Coloradans will give up for their pets. That nonprofit based in northern Colorado is now expanding to provide more help to low-income pet owners to keep those families together through a low-cost vet clinic and a pet food pantry. And they're an adoption guaranteed shelter, meaning that they also get transfers of pets that were about to be euthanized elsewhere. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word thanks to 303-871-1491. I'll send you the link to join me in donating to support their work. It doesn't surprise me at all, but with one small donation after another, you have raised almost $15,000 in 15 minutes. Penny writes in to say that her sister volunteers for Animal Friends Alliance, fosters kittens, says doesn't know how many lives she's saved over the last several years. Penny said she's glad that we chose that charity for this week's Word of Thanks campaign. And a note tonight from Dev about Democratic Secretary of State Jenna Griswold getting a security stipend due to the threats she gets. He says if she'd quit, then she wouldn't need security. Imagine thinking that threatening an elected official out of office is an American thing to do. See you next time.